platform. I'm Keystone and this is Redbone. We launched this platform as a way of speaking to the people from a point of view that we feel may have been overlooked or just not heard. It seems to be a lot of interest in the city of Pakoima, a few miles north of Los Angeles. Our story is too complex for just one point of view, so we decided to give you a full insight into our hometown, Pakoima, California. We're going to get into our history, street culture, politics, sports legends, and music legends. From the sometimes bitter, sometimes sweet relationships between the blacks and the Pakoima Latinos, to the contentious interactions with the Foot Hill Division Police Department. Pakoima has a unique voice that distinguishes itself from the greater Los Angeles area. We've heard from everyone else, now it's time for the Pakoima
Perspective. Back again. We got two guests with us today. We got DT.
Two regulars.
We got DT, Daniel Terry, and we got Leaford Hackett. And of course you got Bone, Redbone, and me, Keystone, of course. And today we just kind of chopping it up. You know, grown man conversation. There's a few things going on in the world, you know. And like our title says, you know, Pakoima got a perspective. So we got 4 grown men, and we just go chop it up on a few things. So
get it.
You know, before I hit the record button, we was all just in here chopping it up on school, and you know the difference in how we went to school and how, you know, we're raising our kids to go to school. And it was a pretty interesting conversation. So I kind of want to continue down that lane and just kind of see where we go from there. So the main thing, what's up, Bone?
Yeah, like I was saying, man, I was telling DT, man, it all started back, like I say, the C average, homie. A lot of us could have been playing ball, but like I said, I screwed up and got caught up with the colors, if y'all know what I mean. You feel what I'm saying? So I said, when it was my year, when they put the damn C average out to where that you had to go get your shit right, excuse my language, and I chose to run the wrong way, man. And I do regret that, y'all. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, we were just bringing that shit up. You know, like I screwed up, but I made sure I didn't let my kids go through and do what I did, man. You feel me? And all 3 of them graduated. So, you know, I did that part.
That's right. So do y'all feel that adding the C average and making kids have to be eligible to play sports, do you think that it was a fair thing to do, or do you think that the way it was back in the day without having that stipulation was better, or how do you think it affects our community? How do you think it affects our community? I think that's what I more want to ask.
I think it was necessary. I think because it was requirements for you to go and pursue and further your education, right? So that was part of those requirements. You wouldn't be able to do that without maintaining. So I think if you don't do it, you got to have some type of standard, right? It's C is average, right? So it's saying be an average student and you can play, right? And some people are going to excel past that, right? Some people don't want to be average. They're going to say, I want A's, or I want B's. I want B's and A's. You're going to always have that segment of people. So, yeah, I think it was good, because I think if you don't do that, then you got all these talented people that don't ever get a chance. So say like communities we come from, right? We all know people that haven't been really outside of that box. You know what I mean? So college was the first time they seen something else wherever they went to, you know, if they had the opportunity to do it. And sometimes that's all the person need is a glimpse of something else that's not, you know what I mean, that you understand that it's a big world out here. It's more opportunity, like, damn, I didn't know that. I can do this, I can do that. Sometimes that's all people need is an introduction, and then they mind to take them wherever they trying to go. But if you don't have that, then you believe that this is it. You know what I mean? And that can be
Right. Right.
if your moms or your dads or your parents or your grandparents, or you don't have an uncle that take y'all outside of that world. You know, sometimes you don't get to see it, and you become a prisoner of your own mind. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
you put all these limitations on yourself. And at the end of the day, dog, this is what I believe. Everything is in your mind. Whatever you believe, that's what you are. If I believe I can create something and I can build something, and I'm willing to go do my due diligence and put the work in, then I'm gonna create it at some point. Whether it take 5 years, 2 years, or go faster than that. But if I don't believe it, it don't matter. It don't fucking matter what everybody else think. I don't believe it. You know what I mean?
Nah, real.
So my
Real.
belief in me is what get me out the bed every day, right? Is what make me go hard, what make me want to continue to excel and try. And I ain't scared to try new things and fail, which is also why sports is important, right? That's the first time you get challenged in a way that this motherfucker better than me. You know what I mean? This dude faster than me. This dude stronger than me. And a lot of times you don't get challenged in that way outside. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
and then you find out, okay, I ran track, or I got in the weight room, I got stronger, and then I came back and I was able to deal with this dude or even beat him maybe. So that's the confidence that you get outside of the confidence when your mama telling you the most handsome kid and you the smartest and you the this, right? That's that artificial, that's that confidence you put in your kids, right? But then the world gonna always challenge that shit. The world gonna be like, you ain't smart, you ain't fast, you ugly, you ain't this, you short, you tall. You know what I mean? So it's important to have accomplishments, whatever they are.
Mm.
Right. Well, what about this? How about this? So you posed the question. You said, was it good? What if I think if it was higher, it would be better.
Mm.
Yeah.
If the minimum
Damn.
grade point average is higher, it would be better because what happens is, when we listen to DT, he said you have to meet this expectation. But why is the expectation so low? Right.
Mm.
All right. So if the expectation is higher, you're gonna stress the kid higher. When the kid get out of sports, whatever it is, the kid will be more prepared for society. Most kids don't make it in sports, regardless of their GPA. They're not gonna make
Well,
it in
that's the
sports. So why not?
politics. That's
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
politics of it all,
So I
right?
think what happens too is because this conversation is even way deeper. A lot of young children lack the resources to excel in certain environments. Has nothing to do with school, bro. Okay, so if you going to school,
Yeah.
you hungry, you going to school, you don't have the right attire. I know as an adult, you feel like, oh, you shouldn't care what you wear. That stuff matter when you're a kid. Those
When you're
things
a
bother
kid,
you. You
it
can't build your
definitely
confidence,
matters.
bro.
It definitely
A
matters.
confident, a man or person who lacks confidence will never do anything exceptional. You will only do things to a level of necessity. You will never be exceptional if you don't feel secure and confident. And you
And where
can't
you
be
are.
ambitious if you're not secure. So I
Mm.
think what happens is we're looking at a grade point average, but some people say you fail because you don't fail because you set it too high and miss. You fail it because you set it too low and hit. Too many people hit that grade point average. And what happens? Society is
Mm-hmm.
failing. We gotta first accept that. Society is failing, bro. Right? This is the truth. Society is failing.
What, what,
With all the people that we
go
know,
ahead, Doc.
we don't see enough wealthy people. We don't see enough affluent communities. I think society's failing.
Mm.
Well,
So
That's all I'm
you
saying.
so you,
I think
go
as
ahead.
far as our people go, I think our people a lot of times trust other people to prepare their kids properly, right? Uh,
Right. Yes.
right.
Yes.
That we got to understand what this world is. It's United States specifically. This is a business. This country is a business. It's opportunity if you choose to go find it and you're willing to go work and create it. It's that simple. You know what I
Right.
mean? Now, do they have different barriers for us, different roadblocks? Absolutely, right? But it's just like anything. If we take it to the street culture, right? If I know if I walk down this particular street, it's some shit over there, right? That I might got to deal with, right?
Right.
We ain't gonna walk down that street every day. That don't make you a punk. That make you a thinker, right? Why I got to go through that war zone every day, right? I got to find a better route home. You know what I mean? and sometimes even on that route, you might run into an obstacle, right? But you'll deal with that when you run into it. But I don't need to go through the jungle every day. You know what I mean? So a lot of times we trust a system that has always failed us. It's designed to fail us.
Well,
You know,
DT, listen.
it'll say,
How can you not
well,
trust a system that's designed to fail you when you don't know anything but that system that
You
already
don't
failed
know
you?
anything but that
Okay,
system. I
this is the
got
thing.
that.
The people that are adhering to that system were indoctrinated in that system, and I know, like you know, because we talk frequently. I don't think you understand that we're outliers.
So look,
You
go ahead,
know,
speak on it.
okay,
we're outliers, bro.
let's stay in that box right there because I want to ask something. That is what you just said, Leaf. Is 100%. How do you avoid the system when that's all you know? You're like bred. You're born into it, and you go straight into it. How do you avoid that, or where does any different teaching? Where would you get that from? Where
You
would you get
don't
that from?
avoid it.
Well, here's
You
the number one thing I've always lived by is you want to do something new, learn something different, right? If you want to do something new, you got to learn something different. I was fortunate because I had mentors, bro. They came out of environments that were impoverished, but they became wealthy, and they gave me they put me on path to do some things, and I was able to do some exceptional things. And yes, I've lost, and I've won, and I've lost, but I know that I got a blueprint to be exceptional, right?
I
The
was his
number
mentor. He ain't gonna say it, but go ahead,
you
Lee.
said who?
I
Oh,
said
you
I
got a
was your
joke.
mentor. He ain't gonna say it, but I was just fucking with
No,
you.
but think
Go
about
ahead,
it.
go ahead.
So you got to think about it. Even with this conversation we having here on this podcast, we can't marginalize these conversations because they feel natural to us, bro. These conversations have to be echoed and amplified within the spaces in order
I
to
was gonna
let the
say that.
children know that this shit is
Yes,
tangible. These things have to be
yes.
tangible, bro. I'm watching you sitting at the stands at Chaminade. You understand what I'm saying? Me and you chopping up. You at Chaminade. We wasn't going over there when we was young. This is the reality of it.
Right,
Nope.
But
right.
Real talk.
too many people get away from the conditions that we're trying to escape, and they become afraid to go back into the condition because they don't want to get trapped, bro.
I,
So the people who really talking the talk, believe it or not, they get criticized more than people who are doing stuff that's going to not benefit that environment. So I know it's a difficult thing,
yeah.
but you got to be willing to stretch, bro, and you have to be willing to learn. And regardless of if you don't agree or if you don't like people, you got to be willing to talk to people that don't look like you, speak like you, and at the end of it all, man, I think the number one thing you could do is putting in the kid is teach them how to love themselves. Because once you learn and establish
There
that
you
you can love
go.
yourself, you
There
think you
you
can do
go.
anything,
Most
bro.
There you
important.
go.
You can do
Most
anything, bro.
important part. Most important
You
part.
know?
Because again, like I said earlier, the world is gonna always try to chip away at you. But when you love yourself authentically and you know you can get through that shit. You know what I mean? You can get through
Right.
that shit. And that's how you're supposed to build your kids, right? But I was
There
speaking
you
to what Lee
go.
said.
There you go. That's
It
the
was a
that's
kid.
the answer I'm looking for. Cause it's like it starts at home. That confidence and that training, it starts at home. Your parents have to put that confidence in their kids, whether they wearing the shoes and clothes that's in style or
Or
whatever they
not.
doing. Your kid gotta know when they leaving that hey, you the best you that there is out there. And that's what and
My
that gotta
that's
that
real.
gotta that gotta leave them out. That gotta let them go. What up?
The clothes don't make you. I always tell my kid, this how I feel. I make what I wear. I don't give a shit if I got flip flops on. I'm a walk in here like I don't even like to say like I got Gucci because I don't really give Gucci that much credit. Like
Thank you.
that don't mean shit to
Thank you.
me. You know what I mean? If I got some Gucci sunglasses on, I don't feel no better than that than the ones I bought at the Arco. If I like them, you know what I mean? I wear what I like. If it's a
Real
white
shit.
tee today, it might be a Nike tee tomorrow. You know what I mean? I,
Yes, sir.
I don't have all the Jordans. I got some Jordans, but I don't wait for the newest pair to come out. The only
But
ones
but
I ever
DT, but
had is
DT, real
I really
fast.
like that one.
DT,
Go ahead.
not to cut you. Not to cut you.
Go ahead.
Don't speak to him with that tone of a 50-year-old man. Okay, we didn't have all those. All the fights I ever got in growing up, bro, was because people talked about my clothes. And it built a thick skin to where I don't care now. Like, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, a young person is not going to have those because they have not been through those things and given up that innocence to get the experience in order to deal with his life.
Now,
So I know what DT
let me
is
give
saying.
you let me give you proof of concept, right? My son is just turned 16. He got J's. He got all. I don't even buy him for him. I let him buy his own now if he want them, right? Because he only wear them when he really gonna go somewhere. To school, black Adidas, some Air, whatever jeans he like. Man, he'll give me his little shopping cart. His shopping cart would be $70, and it'd be 2 pair
Right.
of jeans, 5 t-shirts. You know what I mean?
Right.
He like what he like, and that's what I raised him that way. Nigga, we who
Oh,
we are, cause
yeah,
we who we are.
I'm not questioning what you're
So
saying in that capacity.
no,
Right.
I
I'm
get where
not.
you coming from too.
I ain't challenging, but think about this. You have that option, right? So you
No,
have
it's an
that
option.
option
I
to
get
say
you. I get you. I get you.
you
I
got
get you.
that
I get
option
you.
to say you got the J's. But the kid that
I
really
get you.
want the J's is a kid that don't have the option to have the J's,
I
and he
get you.
got to wear the knockoffs,
Point.
right?
Great
So
point.
I'm not
Great point.
knocking it,
Great point.
but you got an
Great
elevated way
point.
of looking at it. Part of the reason your child is exceptional is because you learn how to become an exceptional man, so he can have an opportunity to be an exceptional young man early on, right? Your son is in an
Facts.
entirely different environment and household, right? Your son probably
True.
ain't gonna never get in no fight in the next 10 years. Whereas I'm not
Mm-hmm.
even a fighter, and I've been in 10, 15 fights from elementary to junior high to, so it's a little different. And I'm not dismissing what you're saying because I
No, no,
150%
no. I
agree,
get where I get you.
right?
I get where you coming from,
My
and I
thing
agree.
is,
I agree.
my
I
thing
agree.
is, what is the best plan for children who are not that affable? What
Right.
kind of design can we create for those kids that can't maneuver and ain't got that flexibility? Bro, you're a well-versed individual. Most people are barely good in one direction, right? You ain't gonna
Right.
ask the lineman to run a zigzag route, you know? A lot
Right.
of our
Right.
people, and remember, the broken family, we not really talking about GPA right now to keep it 100, bro. Because the part of the GPA is coming because we have dysfunctional, broken families, and it's too much responsibility on one individual in order to cultivate greatness in anything because they fatigue anyway, bro. We talking
Yeah.
about families, but we know that's not what our young people are getting raised up in. They getting raised up in single parent houses.
True.
This is the reality of it.
And the single parent is usually moms.
Yep.
Fact.
So do you
Got complete
think
control.
it's usually moms that got the complete control? So do you think
Yeah.
the lack of confidence that these young men, or the overconfidence in these young men just by the material possessions, like the confidence is more in what they look like and how they dress
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
it
It's
is who they
artificial.
are as a person.
It,
Do you think
it,
that's
it,
because of
yeah.
who's raising these kids, or
I think that has a lot to do with it because
why is
the
our
moms are
culture, why do
overcome.
it seem like our culture is so on the name brand, like everything gotta be the name brand, the style, or there's really no
Because
confidence there?
Because it's
it's an
the most tangible thing that
overcompensation.
represents success. It's the
Yeah,
most
it's an
tangible thing that
overcompensation. So a
represents
lot of
success.
times, the single parent, which is most likely the mom, a lot of the times, she's trying to overcompensate for what's missing, right? So give him everything you can, even if you really can't afford these things, right? It doesn't teach him the appreciation of them, for one, because you buying the shoes with the light money. You know what I mean? You buying the shoes with the grocery money, or the shoes that could have paid for his tutoring or something if he needed it in math, right?
Mm.
And I'm not faulting her for that, but that's why it's supposed to be a balance, whether you're in the same home or not. You know what I mean? And it's a little thing going around where the guys are saying, uh, go talk to your daddy. If you fell out with your daddy wasn't around, go give him a chance to have a conversation with you. Sometimes you'll find out he wasn't around because he didn't want to be. You know, he didn't know how to navigate the courts, or we have a tendency to think. I was talking to a brother today, like, yeah, we are. If we get behind on some child support, or maybe the woman is on the county, and that accumulates, right? Now the county is fighting against you. The county got lawyers. You may not have no money or nothing to fight for yourself. So for me, when I talk to young dudes that got kids, proactive. I was proactive with mine. So I got split custody immediately. I always had my kids with me all the time. My 2 kids, both my daughter and my son. You know, my son lived with me. My daughter lived with me as well. So I ain't never had nothing but complete 50-50 everything. I'm responsible. If they go to that school, cool. I want them to go to that school. You want them to go to that school? I'm already paying for the school. The school going to be in my name because I'm responsible for it, right? So I took control, and that's what I tell a lot of young brothers that had kids. Quit. You can't give up control immediately and say, no, if the minute you sent some ignorant shit, take her to court. Save yourself all the fight, the potential of you going to jail, doing something stupid. I'm going straight to court, being proactive, getting my little 50-50.
Stop the press.
Handle your
Stop the press. Did you say the male should take the female to court? Is that what you just said?
I've done it. Yes. Protect yourself. If you realize you're dealing with some stuff that might be problematic, it'll be in your best interest. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Get it in
but
black and white.
I thought our culture was supposed to run away from the courts and dodge the judges and not want to show up because
I don't subscribe to our culture, not the bad parts, not the shit that don't make sense. You know what I mean? And we have, as elders, whatever you want to call us, right? We got to speak on the dumb parts of our culture and be honest about it. Whether we participated in it or not, it don't matter. We got to be honest about it because we want it to be better for the next ones. And if we sugarcoat the shit and make it look like, everybody ain't got to go through that shit. You know what I mean? Everybody, I would prefer, like I tell my son, I would prefer not to have baby mom. I would prefer to have my wife and my kids like y'all got. You feel what I'm saying? That should be the preference. That should be what we give it to our kids. Like, so I don't have to have, now I love my kids. I wouldn't change nothing because it already happened, right? But that's what I tell you. Find a good woman, man, that's on your team and solid and supportive of you, and you do the same for her. And everybody gonna go through some shit. You know what I mean? But you can go through that with the right one. You know what I mean? And sometimes that right one ain't gonna feel like the right one, right? You go through them phases. You know what I mean? But you get on the other side of it, y'all even stronger, right? Y'all learning because y'all both is growing in life. Y'all ain't growing at the same pace. Sometimes you moving faster than her, and sometimes she moving faster than you. You know, and it feel like we at odds or we don't work no more. You know what I mean? Y'all got to find your way back to what works. But anyway, so I encourage, like, getting married later in my life. I salute the dude that got married younger. Like, I really feel like that's the way. You know what I mean? Like, I tell my wife, I tell anybody, I was a womanizer. That's what I did. That's what I was grown. That's what I was taught to be. Just being real. That's my culture as well. That's our culture as well, right? Have many as you can. Don't treat none of them right. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I just keep it real.
Bro, no, if you're not a good person, don't put us in it. That's on you. You ain't shit. Don't.
Well, whatever.
You're nothing. You're nothing. Okay?
I own that too. But I wanted to share this real quick, and I'm gonna let y'all talk. I was watching something. It's the show called. It was a video clip that I saw, and it was sister saying about gatekeeping, about different cultures, right? And I was like, damn, I identified that a long time ago, but it was good to hear it, right? So you say, when you go to a donor shop, it's usually Cambodians, right? Asians, Cambodians, right? When you go to a cleaners, it's Asians. When you go to 7-Eleven, liquor store, gas station, it's the Indians. Hotels, Indians, right? So what do we got, right? Now, we do have something that's tangible, but listen, we got the barbecue spot, right? But the difference between us and them is if I got the barbecue spot and I see Redbone got a good barbecue menu, he know how to get down, I ain't going to educate him. Look, he going to have to crash and maybe not make it, opposed to me saying, look, this is how you get the loan to do this, structure your shit like this. He already know how to make the bomb barbecue, but let me show him how to run the business so he can be successful. He got the good food, right? We won't do that because he's 45 minutes away. We ain't shooting at the same people. You know what I mean? Some people gonna like your hot link sandwich. Some people gonna like mine. Be okay with that. Me and my buddy Tommy that own a gym in Chatsworth, if you look on our social media, we share each other posts. We do stuff together, and we're in the same industry. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we understand
But
partnership. We
DT,
Shout out
understand.
to
what?
Tommy Sykes, man. Shout out
Yeah,
Tommy
Yeah, shout
Sykes,
out to
Big
Tommy. That's
Sykes,
my
all
bro.
y'all.
But
I
hey,
think
let me
what it.
finish this point, Leaf.
Uh,
Leaf, let me finish this point. So I talked about the Donut King documentary. Go look at it. So when she asked that question, that Donut King ended up owning 70 plus donut shops, and he helped 100 people open their own. That's why you see so many of them in that industry. He told them he financed some of them, and then showed them how to structure their businesses, and then they grew their businesses, and then now they got multiple donut shops. Look at the cleaners, same way the Hispanics do in the construction field or whatever they into, right? See, if I'm making 100,000, 200, whatever, I don't want Leaf to make 100,000. I don't want Bone. I don't want Stone. You know what I'm saying? I want to be
yeah,
the big dog, right?
I get it.
But but we
But here's the
understand
unfair
that
thing.
if
But here's the
if
unfair
all of
thing.
us are big dogs, hold on, this is my last little part. If all of us are big dogs, then if you fall a little short, you hit a bad spot, you got 4 other dudes. Boom, here go 50 racks. Get back on your feet. Keep your business going. That's all you need. Stone, he give you 50. Leaf give you 50. You got 100. You got 200,000 now. You get back in the game, right? So anyway, go ahead, Leaf. That's what I'm saying. That
But so
community
so so here's the
DT.
thing.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing, bro. Yes, you are right. Yes, you are right from a contextual standpoint. The unfortunate thing, you can't name not any of those communities where the military came in to destroy anything.
That's
You
right.
can't tell me where
That's a
people
real
have
part.
gotten in the way, where people have gotten in the way of the. We've always had shared economies. They just talk about the Black
Absolutely
Wall
true.
Street. It was many of those civilizations. There was many of those things. Black
Very
people
true.
worked well together. Okay, so what
Very true.
happened was
Very
at
true.
first wave of feminism, and you going to destroy the family, we stopped collaborating and creating and start competing. That's the essence of what this gender war has become. Late 1960s, bro. We worked well together. Post-slavery, all that, we the most educated, working well together, married people on the face of the planet. But when you let strangers come into your house and tell you how to do it, you're going to fail. Like we keep using this word culture, right? The rule of a culture is if the culture does not show to be linear or elevating, you have to change your culture or it will be your demise. Our culture is killing us. We are a self-eating disease at this point. Once you pollute the mind of the oppressed, you no longer have to oppress them because they will oppress themselves. That's why people can sit back now and say, look what they doing to each other. Bro, this shit is way deeper than what the eyes see.
But no, I agree with everything you just said. I get that. But what you just also said, what they did, you're perpetuating it now, still, unknowingly,
What?
right? So we already have a template, right? With Black Wall Street, Tulsa. We have a template that we know that was successful. They burned them places down. So now we don't even trust the template that we know was successful. So you saying
Well, they're afraid of
that,
success.
right?
Believe it or not,
Well,
most
hold up.
black people are afraid of success, bro. Because when you become
I agree.
successful, it is dangerous. This is the
But
truth.
once you know the game, but look, if you know the game, if I know it's all a game at the end of the day,
It
right?
is.
If I know the game and you know the game and we know how to win in this game, how we were successful collectively, not just individually, we still got to go back to that template because it's still what we're doing by not going back to that template is allowing that shit that happened in the past to resonate today still. It still
Hey,
controls us today.
you know what's deep? What's deep is how we started off this conversation talking about the education system. We done got all the way to where we talking about how we used to work together and how we no longer work together. And the one thing that we gotta address is I never learned nothing about Black Wall Street in school. I never learned nothing about Rosewood in
And you
school.
never
I
will.
never learned nothing about these black neighborhoods and these black how these black people were successful. I only knew about only black person they talked about really was Martin Luther King.
Let me ask you this question.
They
You play
told his
sports, right?
story like all he wanted to do was eat at white restaurants, and
Right.
all he wanted to do was go to school with white people and all that. So how do these black kids even connect to that to that legacy? How do they connect to that legacy if it's not even taught to them?
Check it. We play sports, right? And we all had teams that were our opponents, right? You ain't never sent your opponent your playbook. Why would you give somebody the playbook and you want to keep them defeated? You're going to parcel information to them to keep them fed. My thing is, it ain't their responsibility to teach us that shit. I wouldn't teach them that shit. It's war, bro.
That's deep.
Check it. Check it. Here's the three reasons. Here's the three reasons we will continue to fail as black people. And it ain't nothing outside of this. This is bulletproof. I can study it. If we don't understand war, we don't understand business, and we don't understand togetherness, meaning union, family, we lose. We lose. Okay? Black people, first off, don't understand and they don't celebrate war because they over-religious. And I know they ain't read the Bible because in the Bible, motherfuckers in the Bible getting laid out. The Bible
is all war, especially the Old Testament.
Stop playing, bro. War. This is truth. Secondly, we don't understand business because we celebrate employment of prestigious status having jobs that they promote. So black people now don't want ownership, right? And then we don't celebrate unionship. Me and DT talked some weeks back, and I said, man, you know, they always talking about the black woman being independent, but the black man ain't no better. Because he may not speak of independence, but where you see us working together. So we may not be talking it, but we're behaving it. Our behaviors are indicative of who we are, bro. More so than what we talk about. How are we behaving?
So okay. So look, this is one thing I like to do. I love these conversations personally, but I don't like to have these conversations without giving some tangible solutions, right?
There you go.
Right.
These conversations are one thing, right? These conversations are one thing we have to have. You know, look, hold on. My wife come. I take it too long to come in the house, dog. So you know what I'm saying? She gonna come out and show her face and shit. What?
Hey, happy Pride Month, DT.
No, what'd you say?
Happy Pride Month.
I just think stupid. I see that rainbow on your wall, nigga, back there. But no, we gotta have these conversations for one, right?
Right.
And more than having the conversations, we have to share information. So we have to reach back, whether it's through our kids. It's so important that we touch outside of our homes because there's so much that's lacking, right? So for me to just do it for my kid or you to just do it for your kid, when you have great information, then we doing our whole community a disservice. I'm not saying it's your responsibility to educate everybody, but what I'm saying, whoever you can reach, you need to do it. You know what I mean? We need to do it. And what happens is, a lot of us get to a certain age and we think our evolution stops. It doesn't, because it ain't no excuse. Well, I didn't learn that till I was 45. Okay, well, share that shit when you 46. You know what I mean? Share it when you 49. Share it when you 56. You know what I mean? Share it.
Yeah.
And your son is gonna emulate the conversations you have. These conversations we have right now. If y'all hear my son speak, I talk to my son just openly and honestly. This is what the world is. This is how you got to operate in this world to be successful. You got to be able to walk in any room. I always tell it's not a room I'm going to be uncomfortable in. You know what I mean? Millionaires, billionaires, it don't matter. I feel like I bring something tangible to the table. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I approach life like this. You don't have to give me a chance. I'm going to give myself a chance. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to give myself the chance I desire. You know what I mean? And whatever come with that, I can live with it and I can die with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give myself a chance
Yeah,
to
I
be
think it's
the
important when you
person I
wake up
desire to be.
to, we have to learn, we have to be the people that create the opportunities for other people, right? So
So we can
sometimes you
learn
don't
to
even
live.
have to,
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes you ain't got to even overwhelmingly focus. You know who you are. We know who we are, right? I've always been a person that create opportunities for other people. I'm going to continue to create opportunities for other people. And if I can do that, I'm good. If I'm creating opportunities for other people, that means I'm good, bro. Right? So, but I think we have to understand there's a point in your life to where you have to be so focused to where it looks selfish to
Yeah.
the world. Because that's the only way you're going to ever be in a position to be selfless. If you don't have it, you can't give it, baby. That's how this game works, right? You
That's
got
real
to
talk.
make sure to take care of self. You got to make sure to take care of. We can just start with something simple, bro. Something simple. Hey, man, 30 days, every brother out here, for the next 30 days, we going full-fledged fasting, and we want to get in the best shape we can get in 30 days. It ain't really about the working out. It's about the camaraderie. It's about the teamwork. It's about, man, I see him doing better. Because along that way, we may fail 4, 5, 6 different times. But when you
The
hear people
commitment,
cheering for you
man.
at the finish line,
The
it just
commitment,
feels good,
King.
bro. You know,
You got
this
to
is
see the
just, you got to
commitment.
start where you at. Start where you at, man. And don't be
It's
discouraged,
about
man. And don't,
community, man.
Facts.
yeah, no reason to be embarrassed. Start where you
Facts.
at
Nah.
and go hard, man. It almost, I know y'all remember like being in school dances, right? And you at the school dance and you in there dancing, you think everybody looking at you. Bro, ain't nobody paying attention to you,
Yep. Real shit.
right?
Real
But you
shit.
thought everybody was looking at you. There's no
That's a
reason to
great
be
mindset.
embarrassed,
Yeah.
bro. There's no reason to be embarrassed. People only look at people at the top or at the bottom. So if you ain't at the bottom or the top, bro, you are not getting noticed. I'm letting you know. So there's no reason to be embarrassed. There's no reason for arrogance. It's just teamwork. It's a shared economy of information. What you don't know, I know. What I don't know, you know, and you just bring it to the squad. I think it's
And it's
that's the only
codes,
way we
bro.
gonna recuperate from what's taking place, man. It's the only way.
And we gotta have codes, man. We like it's certain shit you just not supposed to do.
Yep.
Talk
If I don't
about it.
like a
Talk
red ball,
about it.
I don't need to destroy his image.
At all.
If he do something that's good, that's benefiting the community, I can still be a resource to that. I might not like him personally, right? Because whatever the reason is. You know what I mean? He ain't took my life, he ain't killed my kid, he ain't did nothing, but we don't like each other personality, some shit. As simple as that, right? We know people don't like people because
That's
but
just
I
it
gotta
is what it is. That's
he does
real.
good shit. So for me to diminish what he
Mm.
does a disservice to who he services, right? So but we got people we know that do that, right? They want to destroy what they don't like. And then we got too many people that want to be I love the background. You know what I mean? Like it's parents that say, DT, you should say this. I don't. That's not why I do it. You know what I mean? The things that I do, I like being behind the scenes and doing whatever it is that I can help with. I don't need to blast it on social media because that ain't the reason. It's not. You know what? Those people, the relationships I've garnered over the years, it speak for itself. To me, that's my reward when they come holler at me. You know, our
That's what
parent
it
or
is.
our young man that come ain't been in my program in 8, 9 years and still call me about damn near every major decision they try to make. It's almost it. I be in awe at times because, damn. So I got to take that serious though, right? Because if he believe enough in me and what I'm gonna say to him, then I need to make sure I'm trying to say the right shit to him. You know what I mean? Not and not personal. What I feel was right. What I think should be the way you move in this certain situation. You know what I mean? And that's the elder thing that we did have. Maybe that crack era killed that. So we got a whole generation that lack elders. You know what I mean? Because of the
Man.
drug war. You get what I'm saying?
War.
So even if that was only a 12, 15-year window, it it lingers for 30 years, 40
Ha-
years.
have y'all seen everybody here seen Bastards of the Party?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Y'all seen that
I've seen that.
documentary?
It's been a
That's
good
a good
minute. Yeah,
documentary.
I've seen it.
I think that break down the disconnect better than anything I've ever watched or
of our
heard
generation.
break down that disconnect between where we were pre that crack era, gang banging era, and to where we are now. Like that disconnect from,
Yeah,
cause that's
real
one
talk.
thing we know. The blacks back then, they had like you said, they had morals, they had laws, they had ethics. Always bring up that scene on Dead
Standards.
Presidents when Cuddy was gonna shoot Lorenz Tate character, but he said if this was business, I would kill you. But it was over a woman, so he didn't kill him. And I'm like, damn, who in these days would have them type of morals or them type of
You
values
don't.
where they would just do
Well,
it. They would
they don't
just
have,
do to do.
they don't have. There's no more codes, bro. There's not a code to anything, man. They just
at all.
people only think of themselves. They become so selfish. They become so based on individuals. They really think individuals can beat teams, bro. Our
Nah,
people are
real,
so
for real,
our
for
people are
real.
so far behind in the race. They think they're in the lead. They really do be thinking they're in the lead, bro. You
Nah,
know,
you right.
I've never seen every game that we play from racism to everything is a team game. Okay, so if racism and all that is affecting black people, we're playing a role in it. So I look at like active gang members and stuff. They ain't no different than white supremacists. They're
Mm,
no different than the white supremacists. Period. Point blank. Because when you are causing destruction to what they want to destroy, I don't care what side of the fence you on. You doing and you playing their role.
we doing they work for them. Yeah, nah, I
This
feel you. I
any
feel you.
woman out here, any woman out here
Wholehearted.
weaponizing the child from seeing weaponizing that child and using it against that father, white supremacists. That's how I look at it. Period. Point. What's the difference, bro? What's the
Nah, I
There's
feel
no
you.
difference?
difference.
I
There,
feel
there's
you.
no
I'm laughing because it's just so. It's
there's
like
no difference.
it's right there in your face, but it's like people don't see it that
They
plainly,
they don't
and
see
then
it because they don't
you
think
make it
they don't
so
see it
plain.
because they don't see it because they don't believe they're active participants. Remember, bro, the person that complained the most at the job usually got the most complaints about them.
Huh?
Period.
Huh?
Yeah.
They don't see it. They don't see themselves as being active participants, bro. Fact of the matter is, we can fix all this overnight. All we got to do is be willing to shake hands, show some teeth, and say, get over it. Because you can't keep on looking back. It's too much deficits. So you got to just forgive that
Facts.
shit. You got to
We
just
got to move
forgive
from
it.
here, dog. We have to move from where we at. And I agree 100% with what Lee said. We got to move from where we are. Like, we can revisit our past, and I think that's important to be educated in that. I think that's very important because we
Yeah.
know shit
Learn
don't
from it.
360, right?
To
The
learn
same
from it.
game come
Yeah.
around again. Yeah, they do the same stuff all the
Let me just.
time to us, right? At what point, for me, in my mind, you're not going to beat me the same way every time. You get what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to be a little more creative the next time because you ain't gonna come the same way. I see it coming now, right? So we got to be that as a community. Like, we know this is what happens. Education, our schools are under resourced or whatever it could. They keep selling us the sports dream, right? Which is an avenue, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not discouraging that avenue. I believe in it. If you talented in that way, chase it. But never would I tell my son that you gonna get to it because of who you are. Fuck sports. Whether you play another game or not, I don't care. What I care about is who you are as a young man, who you are mentally, who you are physically too. Because you got to be physical in this world too. It's a time to be physical. You know what
Mm.
I mean? So even that in our health wise, right? We don't speak on that enough. We the most sick, us and Hispanics too. We the sickest communities, right? So we don't we believe in, oh man, you old as your mind tell you are. You know, when
Facts.
you stop moving, you lose it. If you don't move, you lose. That's it. You ain't got to do what I do at the gym. You can go walk your neighborhood. It ain't your goals is yours, mine is mine. You know what I mean?
But do
We don't all have
something.
to
But
have
you
the
got to
same
do
goals,
something.
Do
Gotta do
but we
something.
all need to
something.
be moving, right?
Yeah, you got to
And
just do
Body is right,
something.
mind is right.
you
You
also
got to.
gotta watch what you put in your body as well. You can't wait for the doctor to tell you to stop eating certain shit. It's certain shit you gotta already know you can't just be eating and putting in your body, because that causes certain diseases that are prevalent in our
And you know what?
culture, in
Why
our
we eat
And
community.
we
chili?
got
Why
to
we
stop
eat
looking
chili?
for excuses.
Why
Like
you
you
can't
got
never steal
DT,
the
right?
chili?
Yeah, you got DT. He do physical fitness stuff. He got a whole gym. You got Sykes. You got John. You got Ed. You have all these people that come out this same little disc community that are willing to be resourced. And you ready? The community don't even support him for the most part. This is the truth,
No,
bro. Them people
for
out on the
real.
hill ain't from Pakoima. Them people at Daniel Gym ain't from Pakoima. Them people over there working out with Ed ain't from Pakoima. It's the facts, bro. So they can't say that we didn't have access to it. You chose not to take access. You wanted to sit on the sideline, but you want to hold the championship trophy up. But dog, the people on the field get tired, man. I don't care what kind of conditioning you in. You got to come to the sideline, and if you ain't got nobody to replace you, you gonna lose.
Y'all
That's it. We not
experience
deep,
it.
bro.
Y'all experiencing it, or you will, with y'all's podcast, right? It's gonna be people that I'm gonna come on anytime y'all can. If I can make it, if I don't come on, it's gonna be because I couldn't come on. It ain't gonna be because no other reason, but I'm occupied or something. But that
Right. We
shit is
know, right.
important.
Real
I know the
talk.
importance of supporting your people. You know what I mean? And for no reason other than supporting them. Like we can figure, they gonna figure out. They gonna continue to elevate in their podcast, and as they learn and navigate it, y'all gonna
Yeah.
get better and better. You know what I mean? So, Saint with Leaf do his business ventures and different shit. If somebody tag me, I'm promoting. It only take me 3 seconds to share it, right? Didn't
Say
require
it
no
again.
work, no extra nothing, no financial investment. Shared it, boom. I have a different audience maybe than y'all have, right? We
Yeah.
obviously we
Real
got some
talk.
of the same people we deal with, but I also have another
On the
group.
back
Y'all
up.
also have another
Real.
group.
Come
Pull
on.
them into
Y'all
your
know that.
world,
That's
pull them
real.
into my world, right? That shit is important. But we won't, not gonna say we, because I don't like to use broad terms because it ain't everybody. You know what I mean? And it
But
ain't no
we,
different than when women say all men ain't shit, right? We know all men not ain't shit. We know that, right? So I always challenge that when I hear a woman say it. Well, if you say all men ain't shit, then them is all your man that you selected. So you got to look in the mirror at some point. If
Huh.
all the men you encountered ain't shit, it's probably because you ain't shit. Just being real.
Yeah,
That's
man. It's
probably what
bro.
it is.
It's hard for people to do that mirror work, bro. It is
You
hard to
feel
do
me?
that mirror work, bro.
the mirror work, I like that for real, huh?
Oh, that's difficult,
No,
man.
if
Yeah, that's
everybody
what
I
you look
know
at and
ain't shit,
recognize.
then at some point I got to be like, damn, this is all I know. I ain't who I think I am, right? That's just
It
being
is about that
accountable
mirror
for
check, bro.
hell yeah.
Accountability. There go that word right there. Accountability.
Accountability. I tell people this. I
Introspection.
say if I went and dated a hooker and I knew she was a hooker, right? She gonna be on the blade. So she go on the blade. What is my expectation but her to be who she is, right?
Yeah.
Do I expect her to be the the whatever wife I expect?
The
No, that's who
housewife.
she is.
She
I'm
is who she
stupid for doing
is.
that, right? So it ain't no different, bro. Like it's no different. So I think accountability, man, and it just and us being able to not, we ain't all got to be best friends to do work together to be beneficial to each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
We, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Nah,
if it
real.
makes sense, you know what I mean?
If it
Why?
makes
Why not?
sense, key word. If
I
it makes
always like
sense.
this.
If
Always
it
like
makes
this.
sense,
The Marcus Garvey way of looking at things. He said he was a 101 percenter. He don't care about the 99% difference. The 1% that we agree on, we gonna put 100% in it.
Mm.
Period.
period.
Right?
Hell yeah.
And that's how you win collectively, bro. We have to stop
Collectively.
thinking because we got a seat at the table that what we say is gonna be heard. It's not always about us, bro. You sitting at the table with other brilliant men, just like we sitting on this podcast and we got different level of decorum, right? Whoever rolling. You feel me? Ain't nobody trying to overstep nothing because the fact of the matter is not about you, me, him, or him. It's about the podcast. It's about the
Yeah.
message. And
About the
sometimes
Yep.
somebody might be on
message.
a
There
roll.
you go.
Bro, if you got a dude in the game that's hot, who cares if he's second string? You bet not pull him out. We gonna run him to you in the mud, dog. right? But these people, sometimes you got to let momentum supersede strategy, dog. I know you came in here with a game plan of we gonna throw 5 slant routes in a post route, but then first 3 runs you did, dude popped off and did 30. If you stop giving him the ball, they need to fire you as a head coach.
Yep.
Right?
Great
Momentum
analogy.
is life's
Great analogy.
momentum is life's
Great analogy.
biggest exaggerators, bro. Remember that momentum is key. You could put a locomotive against a wall and it'll struggle to knock a wall down. You take that same locomotive and run it from 100 yards, it would destroy a city.
Right through it. Look at football now.
Momentum.
Based on the football analogy, right? So you go football. We know we've seen it. We've seen the run and shoot. We've seen the air raid. We've seen all these different that light it up. Couldn't win a Super Bowl, right? Until they added the running game, right? Peyton Manning. Until they got Edgerrin James and added that running game, and they
Couldn't
broke
do it.
through and won the Super Bowl, right? Same with New
Facts.
England Patriots, right? So football is football. It's just like life, right? This shit worked. So what we talked about with the Rosewood and Black Wall Street, right? That was a formula that worked, right? We ran away from it. So just think of it in football. If they went away from the run game, they tried it and they saw it didn't work, and they went back and realized, hey, we got to get the run game and we got to play defense because we can't just outscore everybody, right? Too much shit can happen in the game. We got to be able to stop somebody on third down, and we got to be able to get third down on offense to control the game, right? And Peyton Manning, you could throw it 100 times around the field and break every record in the NFL. You was not going to win the Super Bowl till you find out till that defense match that offense and that run game. That's life. We got to get back to the run game.
It may look exciting. I heard now this is what's his brother's name? Gentry. I think Jennings played basketball, NBA, right? Supposed to be one of the baddest dudes ever, but injuries and stuff might have slowed him up. He said Drew Holiday ain't better than me, some other player ain't better than me, but they have better careers than me. Then if they had better career than you, they were better than you. He's trying to measure the game based on his athleticism. We measure the game based on results and production, bro. I don't care how fast you could jump, or how fast you could run, or how high you could jump. If you ain't scoring no points, you need to be quiet, bro. Or you ain't there participating in somebody getting some points or getting an RBI, you should be quiet. The game is not measured on your potential. The game is measured on the results. What results are you getting?
So with that being said, when our people were building Black Wall Streets, Rosewoods, and things like that, what were the strategies specifically they used to get those results of black colleges, black baseball teams, Negro leagues, ownership of so many different they didn't have to lead a community to do nothing.
Think about this too. A misconception of like Rosewood and stuff, we gotta first understand. You don't need all of anything. You only need a maximum of 10%, and that's what they call the tipping point. Rosewood was owned by 7 to 9% black people, but it benefited the other people that lived there. Therefore, they never felt like they were subjugated to anything or exploited, because the people that were investing in there took care of the people who patronized them. That's why it became a great economy, an ecosystem, right? So the number one thing is we don't got to get everybody, bro. We don't got to get everybody. You just need enough people to come together that got solidarity, understanding, clarity, and no egos. And those people, that's what.
It's role play. It's the Lakers and Showtime, right?
Right, but you got to have somebody manage it. The coach is the manager.
Everybody ain't Magic. Everybody ain't Kareem. Worthy was a little behind Magic. Cooper gonna hit his shots when he was called, play defense. Shoot that 3, Byron Scott. You know what I mean? It's role play, and everybody ain't supposed to be Magic. It don't mean your role is not as valid and not as important for this team to be functional and this team to be successful. Your role is as important as mine. His role is as important as his. But what we think is we want the role that got the light on it, we feel like, right? We think that's the role, but if you might not be built for that role, You know what I
Right.
mean?
Wow.
But
You may
you
not
might
have
be
a vision.
you
You may
might be
not
the
have a
guy.
vision that
Yeah,
encompasses
you
everybody.
may be the
Your
guy
vision
to
may
prop
only
up.
be how to elevate
You feel me?
yourself.
Bro, the fact of the matter
But
is too many people
in
think
that
they all
era, right?
stars. Too many people think they all stars and they just role
Role
players. This is
players.
not an all-star game. This is a regular season game. And we are the Seattle Supersonics. This is not the Western Conference Championship game. We have not earned the right to be in that championship game yet. We
Nah,
are we are middle
we way
we are middle
behind.
of
We
the
way
this is
behind,
the
man.
reality. And the
We
reason
way
I say that is
behind, man.
we have to accept our positioning, our current positioning in order to get to our future goals. We are at the
Wow,
bottom of the
that's
fucking
deep.
Western Conference. Okay?
That's deep.
We are not
That
the
is
Showtime
deep.
Lakers.
That's
This is the
deep.
reality of it. And
That
there's
it
no
But
reason
go
to
is.
be
back.
It
embarrassed
is.
about it.
It
Wait,
is. It is.
wait, Stone. Go back to what your question was when you was talking about Wall Street or Tulsa or whatever, right?
I'm
So
okay.
you had
I-
you had the thinkers, right? You had the strategizers. They
Correct.
strategize. They hold the meetings, right? Boom, boom,
Booker
boom.
T.
And then
Washington.
you had the guys that take that idea and bring it to life, right? And those guys brought in the guys that actually did the labor, right? That knew how to build the foundations of the houses, knew how to, and then you had the guys, the thinkers, you had the guys that had the relationships to connect the dots, right? Hey, we tie this to that. We can get this coming through here, through the community, that bring a revenue. We build it, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Everybody played a part, and no part was less valuable than the other. But
There
see,
you
when
go.
now we only value the so-called person that's
The
we
guru.
value the bread.
The gurus.
That's what we fucked up
Yeah.
at. We so the people with money don't supposed to always lead the community. That don't make them leaders.
Oh.
That make them good
Oh.
strategizers potentially,
But
right?
okay.
That
Okay.
don't necessarily make.
I agree.
Go ahead.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. But in the system that we live in the United States of America, it's a capitalistic system, and
Absolutely is.
it's built on who make the most money call the shots. Is that not correct?
Nah, but
It's
it's
correct. But
kinda.
now
It is
now
capitalism.
take a
We got to
community
take advantage of it.
real quick. Take 5 dudes collectively that got good credit, right? That 5 dudes create a corporation. You go to a bank. We all just say we all got jobs. We trying to go into entrepreneurism, right? But we got all jobs that we tenured on. We got good salaries, whatever we are. All of us got good credit. We create an entity, and then we go to Chase. We make 50,000 a piece, but it's 5 of us, so we had 250, right? We all got a house or a townhouse, whatever, right? We got some equity somewhere, right? But we go in there and ask for $1 million versus the one guy, right, that make $500,000, right? We got a better opportunity. We can go get that. So it's always gonna be that person. We can't destroy that. That they are who they are. That happens. Him, she, whoever it is, right? They never gonna defeat the collective. They can't. You just can't. It can look like it, right? But it only looks like it because the collective is really not a collective. It don't work together either. You know what
Check
I mean?
this
The
out.
collective is just a bunch of individuals.
You just said something that's very important, and I'll give you an analogy. When you see a
Okay, go
bunch
ahead.
of stallions running, when you see a bunch of stallions or horses running, they're running together and they run with a pecking order, okay?
Yep.
And they're running
Yep.
together in order. They're running
Yep.
together in order. When you see zebras, what do you see? It looked like they running together, but baby, they running as individuals. Each one of them have nothing to do with the other one. They just running with the herd because everybody else
And that's
running
how they
that
get picked
direction.
off.
That's why they
Picked
get
off,
knocked
right?
off every single time, bro.
Real shit.
Right? And
They
they're
run
not
together.
wise. And they're not wise. Horses are wise. So my thing is, the architects do what the architects do. Okay, the lawyers do what the lawyers do. The security do what the security do. The security is not trying to give you legal advice, and the legal advisor is not trying to do security. You have to allow people to do what they do, and you got to celebrate them in their capacity, and you have to make sure they are taken care of economically to continue to render good service. Too many of our people think they could be their own legal aid.
and we
They think they
struggle
can do
with
their
that.
own security. Bro, even with the look at gangs. Gangs ain't, you already certain dudes in gangs, you like, this motherfucker off. This is one dudes. Then your money boys. It's the same with any kind of militia, bro. Any kind of militia, you got order, you got placement. Play your role, and you won't be overwhelmed.
And you'll win,
I
and
think
we'll
we
win.
lost him. Oh, he back.
There
Can,
you go.
can you hear me?
You'll
Yeah.
win, and we'll
Yeah.
win. We'll win. Because, like I said, Dame Dash said this before. If we all rich, then if I hit a hard spot, if somebody else hit a hard spot, we had the resources to put you back in the game, right?
One day. One day.
But if I'm the only nigga, if I'm the only one that's rich, and I like everybody else up under me, and I'm kind of being a invisible ceiling for y'all, right? Y'all only can go as far as I allow you to go, cause I'm only gonna give you enough resources to get there, where you're never a threat to me. Opposed to you might even be great. You might be a greater thinker than me, a greater visionary than me. Why not let you blossom? You know what I mean? If I see it in you, and I know I got maybe a connection or a plug that can help you blossom. Why not let you? Now, if you choose to go take that and never look back and be like, "Fuck me," you got to live with that, right?
Yeah.
But for
Yep.
me, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna do what I
Right.
feel is right. And if you choose to go do it and you never come back, that's cool. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's on you. Because at some point, it's gonna come back to you. It may not be via me. It's gonna be via somebody else that you trying to elevate with, maybe. But you know, so we got a complex situation. Well, I think what we make a mistake at is we take a complex situation and we act like it's only one way to fix it, right? This is the way. No, no, no.
Yeah.
That's the way. It's 7 of these
Mm-mm.
ways that we need because the situation is multi-layered. You know what I mean? So it's no way one
But
person's thought process is the
DT,
way
like
to
you said
fix
at
it.
the beginning, but like you said at the beginning, look, conversation is the lubrication of life, bro. You have to be able to communicate and sit down. And like what we talking about right here, this is an elevated way of thinking. Most people are not going to ever collaborate and come together and do things at a high level. The people that do it at the high level are going to put the people in position to enjoy those things. Remember that. So the people who are enjoying these things, who are not collaborating, don't tear the shit up that we create for you to enjoy. Don't tear the movie theater up. Don't destroy the park. Don't piss on the sidewalks. Because you're not the creator of any of these things. So don't destroy them for anybody else, bro. I don't expect
Wow.
everybody to be an entrepreneur. I don't expect everybody to want to be rich. I don't expect these things. Some people want to get up, go to work, go to their job, enjoy their family, have a beer on the weekend, and listen to some radio or watch some football and go back to work. And there ain't
Right.
nothing wrong with that.
Come on.
That person
Right.
is successful, bro. And I
Yes.
want people to stop thinking they're not successful because they don't want to be multi-millionaires and have Bentleys.
Right.
That's not majority of people don't want that shit because they can't sustain it. But you ready?
Right.
Take care of the stuff you do have. Value the things
Right.
that you do have. My mother, I got my truck. I've been at this truck 20 years. My mother told me, make sure you take care of the nice things that you buy because you never know if you'll be in a position to ever repurchase them. Remember,
That's
we
it.
can all fall from grace, bro. I done lost a lot of money multiple times, bro. This is facts. So you don't never know where you're going to be. And that's why I always treat people good because laws of reciprocity, I'll never be broke because I'm too valuable. I'm never really going to be broke because I am too valuable.
That's
And
good.
I'm the value. The money will follow. But you
Real
have to
shit.
be willing to communicate and you got to be able to communicate. And black men, I ain't talking nobody else but black men, you got to get your fucking ego out the way, homie. Get your ego out the
Come
way.
on.
This ain't about your punt return in fucking Cleveland High School in 1967. You feel me? No, that stuff matter.
Hey,
Bro,
hey.
man.
All right.
Yeah.
So
That mattered
look.
in 1967.
We're a little bit over an hour. But what I want to
All right.
do, I want to give everybody a chance to tie any loose ends on this conversation. So I'll start with Leaf just spoke last. So DT, give us sum up this conversation in your own words. What's the main point you want everybody to leave with?
I'll say I'm about the collective, so I feel like the importance of working together. Whether this is our team and that's their team, we don't all have to work with this particular individual or that particular individual, but we still need to be collectively working together, pushing the same way. You know what I mean? We got to have community goals. You know what I mean? And then our egos, my goal ain't no more important than yours. We got to work together and find a medium, right? Where you get a little bit of what you want, I get and when we feel it's the most benefit for the people or for the community, and we have to identify how important it is for us to think community wise, collective wise. Me getting money or you getting money or whoever else is great for you, right? Great for you and your tribe, right? I'm not telling nobody not to do that. What I'm saying is, when you do that, who do you empower? Who do you help? That really is your legacy. You know what I mean? If I take all my money and run in the corner somewhere and disappear from the people that I grew up with, that I know I can bring value to, that I know I can bring some benefit to, because I know it's some gems over there as well that's gonna take the baton and run with it. I'm doing my community. I can't say I love where I'm from. You know what I mean? So I value it. I got great things from it. You know what I mean? I got bad things from it too, but I got great things from it. So it's my job to take the great things I got from it and try to elevate that, and then I'm gonna bring some elevated things back to it, and then it's a residual effect. It's so that's what I would say, man. We can't be gatekeepers, man. Open the gate if you got it.
All right.
Open the gate.
Leaf, you want it? What? Wrap it up for us. What's the main point you want us to leave with?
Well, the number one thing that I want us to leave with, and I want the people to know, and this may be an unpopular opinion, is you can't start out helping the people that need it. You have to assist the people who deserve it and earn it first. That's the only way you can grow anything. The people who need it are usually at the bottom and they can't reciprocate it, not because they don't want to, they don't have the resources. So somebody's not going to make it. We got to understand that. Y'all got to understand it. Somebody's not going to make it. And you cannot start out helping the people who are in dire need. You have to help the people who have earned it and the people who can continue to be in position to drive this car. This is a long-term game. We can't have a juvenile mind, bro. This is a long-term investment. You know, and at the end of it all, and I'm speaking as a black man, and I expect a lot of black men moving forward. You got to be bold, man. Too many black men cower in the face of adversity, and I'm not speaking from a physical standpoint, because physiology, believe it or not, that's the lowest operating thing ever, right? You need it. Don't get it wrong. You need it. But, man, we got to operate in a space of, you got to be bold about the shit you say, man. You got to stand on it. And you got to behave it. There's a lot of brothers out here that talk real clever. But when you tell them to show up, man, they be absent. Just the truth, man. This is just the truth. It's not a shot at nobody.
Bone, what you got, man? Wrap it up. What you want the people to learn from this conversation?
Just listen, man. No, the haterism. Stop hating on when we trying to get this shit right. These brothers right here that we got on the show are speaking the truth. They ain't got a lot. It's like they said, you ain't got a lot of kicking. We ain't got nothing to. We don't. Ain't no hate here, bro. We want this message out. You know what I'm saying? For our youth and you youngsters, we ain't telling y'all no lie. We ain't having y'all. We don't want you to crash out. So I got these brothers here, man. Got some real brothers right here that's speaking some truth. Stop hating, bro. And hold on, Stone. I ain't finished now. Hold on. Hey, the egos, bro. The egos, man. Like you say, the egos. That's the biggest problem. The fucking egos. Come up out of that, bro. Just come out them egos, man.
Come
all I'm saying, bro.
All right. So with
bro.
that being said, my biggest point that I take from this conversation is there was a blueprint at one time. Our people had a history of working together, and they were able to build and create some great things that should have lasted. It should have lasted. But for various reasons, stuff some got burnt down, and that connection wasn't there. So what I want to say to the youngsters, to the cats my age, to the cats a little bit younger than me, and to the cats older than me, we gotta reconnect we gotta reconnect that disconnect, because it's a lot that we were able to do by being able to work with each other that it seems like we have gotten away from, and it's so much individualism to where nobody's doing anything good for the whole. And I think if we get that mindset, we'll see that we don't need the help that we seem to ask for every 4 years. The same help that we asking for every 4 years, it's already right here. It's right here inside of us. So
it ain't coming anyway.
It's that they're never gonna just give us nothing. So it's gonna always have to be us as a community realizing that it's right here, because no other community every 4 years is asking for the same damn thing over and over again. It's only one community that does that. It's only one community.
Yeah, but it's only one other. We the only community that play our game in front of our audience, and we always playing away games, bro. Everybody else play. Look, man. Somebody.
You say that.
I'm being honest. Think about it, bro.
No,
you have people out here to say they send their kids. We're too visible to the strangers. Okay. Here's the thing, bro. We say, "Oh, I'm gonna send my kid to a private school." You're not sending your kid to a private school, because I could Google where that school at. Don't think of the school location. Private school means it should be private education to where the opposition don't know the curriculum. That's the power. The power will always be in privacy, bro. Period, point blank. Too many of our people see victory as playing somebody else's game. I'm not playing nobody else's fucking store game. I don't play my own game.
Right.
We still are.
I play my own game.
It's no different than going to Mastros and they don't treat you right, and you gonna fight with them for 30 minutes to take your money.
Yeah.
I ain't never in my life.
But then you gonna go criticize the little. But you gonna go over criticize the little black business because they didn't give you a napkin. Man.
Right.
Hey DT, I think we being too lit on their podcast, bro. Maybe we should start hating on them, huh?
I'm loving this conversation. Believe me, we hit on some points. We hit on some points I be dying to hit on.
That's just real.
For real though, my brothers. I salute y'all for coming messing with us, homie. I
mean, I love being here. Y'all only invite me with DT, but I ain't judging y'all though. It's cool. Y'all still the homies. Y'all only invite me with DT. It's cool. No, it's cool.
Okay. Hey. So, we can reach. I know how to do this. Okay, we can do it. We can have it solo, bolo, whatever.
I'm bullshit.
Like again, I'm gonna say this again. I'm the older homie on here, so I listen to y'all, and y'all bring out to me, bro. I really mean that though, because some shit I don't be knowing, especially them words you be using, Leaford. I be wanting to ask you, man. Hold on. That shit articulate. I can't even say them goddamn words sometimes. But I be feeling that. I know you for real, bro. So I'm that old cat that want to learn. That for us old niggas that don't know that, I'm one of the ones that want to learn. So I'm here to learn too on the show. You know what I'm saying? So I got to bring some real cats that's been there and did that. And I know your background. For real though, man. Y'all not bullshitting. Y'all telling some real shit. So it is what it is. And I can't wait to get on the football topics with y'all. So remember, that's coming up soon. So yeah, I'm ready for that. And yeah, Leaford, I kept up on you at Washington State too. You, John Diggs, Tim Stallworth. I can go call some names. So when it comes to the sports, I got all y'all. So I'm ready.
And they all did it. They all did it before me. That's what I'm saying. It's all a pathway, bro.
I know that. Hey, yep, Tuffy, I'm looking for you too, man. All the Cougars. I had a couple of Cougars talk some shit too. So Eric Davis, he was out there hollering too. So yeah, I'm bringing out all y'all, calling all your names out. Be ready this summer, and football season's coming up. So let's get down.
Hey man, I appreciate the invite, bro.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Say bye, baby.
All right.
Say bye.
All right, go. Yep.
Say bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, little lady. Have a good one. Stormy putting this out.